Giving all praise unto Abashima Shabashima Kwarash, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and our honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. But above everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh Bashima Shabashima Kwarash. Giving all praise unto Abashima Shai Bashima Kwarash. It's gonna be a relatively quick video here. Just a few thoughts. I'm not gonna go too exhaustive with this particular topic. I'm sure brothers are gonna go exhaustive and go in. You know, when the Spirit jumps on them to go into topics like this and speak about this, which is a topic, and it's a very important topic, as touching this truth. And I wanted to go through it, you know, from my own, you know, experience. I live, you know, kind of far away from the Commonwealth of Brothers, and I wanted to speak on that particular topic of the experiences that I've had, beautiful experiences that I've had. And I've seen of brothers when they come together, and you really see, you know, their so-called eyes, you know, light up. You know what I'm saying? When brothers come together. So let's read a few precepts first before I start, you know, talking. Romans the 12th chapter and 10th verse. Be kindly affectionate to one another, brotherly love in honor, preferring one another. Okay, but it's touching brotherly love. Ye not that I write unto you, for yourselves know. For yourselves are taught of the Most High to love one another. Okay, let brotherly love continue. That's Hebrews the 13th chapter on the first verse. And we know love according to the scriptures is the keeping of the commandments. So you're gonna do to a brother what you would hope a brother will do unto you. That's really the standard. Okay, that's really the standard. So let's look at it from the perspective of experience, right? What I've seen and how beautiful this thing that the Most High has given us is. You got people that have got a like mind. You're into the same thing, and that's one of the fundamental reasons why most relationships fall apart. You don't have enough growth in you know, common interests. So one person is into I don't know, one field, and the other person is into another field, and you could be experts at them, but you have no common ground. Now you might respect each other from a technical capability, and that could work. But in most relationships, people outgrow each other because there's no growth. So you're on different wavelengths, and there's different rates of development. Obviously, that's gonna cause, you know, division. You seen that when you was in the world and came out with certain people, and those people just it's like they're stuck in a time capsule. You know, they were 16 years old, they was on the same shit. You go back, they're still on the same shit. Okay, I've seen certain cats, you know, I grew up with in the world or whatever, and they was just still on the same level. It's like, man, I got problems that you can't even understand, bro. You're talking about the streets, I'm talking about these bills. Okay, you're talking about, you know, the council. I'm like, look, man, I gotta do X, Y, and Z to make moves more amicable for my situation, more sweeter for my situation. And that brings about stress within this world. It don't really matter what level you're on or whatever you perceive to be a level. It's like, it's all stress, bro. Guys think a guy's got money, but the way this world works, the way they set this whole thing up, it's like the more money you make, the more money you lose. You know, sometimes it's even better off being like you're broke, because it's almost less stressful. It's less stressful. But that's a different topic for a different day, right? Harboring back to this topic right here. So, you know, when brothers come in, you got common interests. You might like sports. You might like the field of work that you're in. But most of all, you're in this truth. You're fervent about this word. There's a vibration about that. And there's so many different ways you can approach this truth as well. You think about brothers that are coming from all different walks of life, and we got this one thing in common. And when you see brothers come together and congregate, and preach, teach, you see brothers, you know, become one body. That's a beautiful thing. You know, when you see different members becoming one body, that's a very beautiful thing. You know, I'll be watching it as a you know, a quote unquote visitor, and you see brothers how they, you know, jump in and, you know, hey, yo, bro, I got this precept. You got the inside jokes. You know, you got the banter and all of that spiritual banter. Doth not the scripture say we was going to teach this truth with stammering lips? So we got the righteous banter. But that's a beautiful thing. Okay, that's a beautiful thing. So why would you then go and put yourself in a position where you would come up against her? That's kind of crazy. That's not something you want to do. And that's why the scripture says you got to let brotherly love abound, man. Let's look at it from another perspective. So you got a so-called woman, a family. You got a so-called manager, a so-called good manager at work and all of that, right? So you got these particular things, right? You might have a so-called best friend within this world, and you might meet this person, or a cousin, favorite cousin, your favorite auntie. But you try to break down the scriptures to them, especially the people at work, they ain't gonna understand. It's not even wise to do that. It's not even wise to do that. So now you're going through a life and experience, and now this is where you see I see the other side of it. It's like, okay, right, love the brotherhood, but love what I do. The Most High is blessed it, so I can go out there, I can teach, but at the same time, when time permits, I can go out there, I can visit. It's like I got the best of both worlds, right? It's like I got the best of both worlds. Not to say I couldn't teach around those brothers, but for my particular spirit, the way the Most High set it up is, you know, I feel like that resonates with my spirit more, right? Notwithstanding, the Most High still blessed that I can still go and speak to these brothers, man, and get advice on how to live life in a better way. Okay, so that, you know, I feel like I'm living in balance, but you know, with time things change. Okay, so that could change. But what I'm trying to say is this. Now it's like, okay, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Unless you ain't speaking to a brother, you have no perspective, okay, that's similar to your own, right? Now, there's this actor, Robin Williams, right? That flamer, Mrs. Doubtfire himself. Okay, that flamer. And that goes to show you that they had that programming from a very young age. Okay, you know the programming I'm talking about. Now check this out. He said something very powerful a long time ago. He said, the loneliest you ever feel is when you're in a room full of people that don't understand you. Okay, something to the effect of that. And I can resonate with that. You go to the job, you know, they're bantering about the football. Yeah, Haaland, you know, they're bantering about the football, you know. All of these guys that scored goals over the weekend, they're talking about that. But when it comes down to the deep topics on how to approach life, right? How do you deal with your woman? Oh, yeah, bro, I got problems with my woman. Okay, yeah, this is how you're going to deal with it according to the scriptures. Yeah, but bro, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do something else. So, well, how we going to meet and have middle ground? Yo, my kid is doing X, Y, and Z. How am I going to deal with my kids? And you go to the scriptures. It's like, nah, but I don't believe in the scriptures. That's how these guys go on. It's how you going to have common ground. But you see, the thing is, when you come into this truth now you got common ground, okay? Now you got a common ground. Now you're in a situation where people understand you. All this feeling that you had for the longest time, does not the scripture say, knowledge and wisdom maketh the wise man mad? Does not the scripture speak about how that set a mark upon the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof? So inherently, we got a different spirit, okay, to everybody else. Inherently, we got a different spirit and we got a different approach to life than everybody else. So when you come into this truth and you hear your perspective, it resonates with somebody else. That is a beautiful and wonderful thing. Okay, now you really know what a best friend is. Okay, now you really know, like, you got certain cats out here, you say you got friends or all of that, you got so-called friends within the world, right? But you wouldn't leave your keys around these people. You wouldn't leave your wallet around these people. I got certain family members I couldn't leave my wallet around. People that's supposed to be close family members. I can't leave my wallet around them. I remember I had to go to certain places that's supposed to be family, right? I got to put my wallet underneath the pillow. I still have to do that. You know, if there's a so-called important family gathering and, you know, all right, time permits, or I ain't really got an excuse to not go and go out there. It's like I gotta sleep with a wallet underneath my pillow. Yo, around brother, you can leave your wallet down on the coffee table, okay? You know, if you're walking around with your kids or you're walking around with your woman, you don't feel a certain type of a way. It's like, yo, bro, this is the brother here. That's the brother here, man. I love this brother. Okay? Because you know there is a standard. You know that these men live by a code, a standard, a way of being that's higher than these people are on, man. Okay? You know this connection is on a deeper level because there's a prerequisite to it. So then why would you go and mess that up? Okay, why would you go and mess that up, man? You gotta remember to keep brotherly love. This is the thing. The scripture says that you're gonna know my men. That's what Yahweh said. You're gonna know my men because of the love they have for one another, man. You gotta walk and maneuver with having brotherly love in this truth, man. That's the principal thing, man. You gotta remember this thing when it comes to brothers, man. This is all we have. I remember Elder Manat. I can't say that sometimes, man. It's like it. I remember the elder, he said, it's the tongue twister when the camera comes on. It's like, you know, the words escape, right? But I remember what he said, man. He said, look, man, we are all we have. We are all that we have. That is to say, your so-called family, your favorite cousin, all of that. All of these people, they ain't really with you, man. Your son might sell you out. Your wife might sell you out. These people ain't got your back. Okay? These people ain't got your back. Your Howard Shire's got your back. The brothers within this truth have got your back. And you know what? I begin to understand that. Because I've been through certain situations. You could try to move house, right? You're trying to move house. Nobody shows up to help you out. Brothers gonna show up. You're trying to get a house redecorated. Nobody shows up. Brothers show up. Okay? You're trying to make a move that's, that requires time and effort. Guess who's gonna be there? It's gonna be the brotherhood. It's gonna be the brotherhood. That lets you know that, look, bro, the only people that's gonna be here with you, the only people that's gonna support you is the brotherhood, man. It's the brethren, man. Those are the only people that's gonna support you, man. That's all we have. Notwithstanding, when the shit really hits the fan, you're gonna find out, man, these are the only people that's really on your side, man. These are the only people that's really rooting for you. Okay? These are the only individuals that's really rooting for you. Everybody else, man, they're gonna be out after their own flesh, because you know what? These are the only people that I've got it to where if they do go off, they understand the punishment of it. Okay, they understand the punishment thereof. That's the thing about this truth, man. So you wouldn't want to mess that up, man. Gotta remember brotherly love. Anyways, I feel like I've spoken about this topic, right? Enough for today. I've plucked now. I'll see you on the next one. Shalom. Yabashim Hashabashim Kohakodash. The bonus on the apostles, a great millstone. Honestly, brothers, will be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.